Hi, welcome to Classic Car Cave. So with the Mini, I just want to give you a quick kind of backstory to it. So it was a few years ago now, I can't remember exactly, 3-4 years ago. I got a deal with the guy I got the Citroen from. He had a couple of Mini shells. He also had the logbooks for them and everything else, and engines and gearboxes and seats and doors and all kinds of stuff, and he was getting rid of them, and also a lathe, and I did him a deal and took the whole lot off him. And so now this Mk3 shell is the last one. The other one I got from him, we built the Golf track car out of, and this is really the last one. I've done so many Minis in my life that I really don't want to restore another one, but the metalwork is always an issue, I think, for people, because one, it's space, it's welding skills, it's knowledge, it's the tools and so on and so forth, and it's quite expensive to do as well. And rather than patch, I prefer to use new panels if it's possible. I mean, there are sometimes when you have to let in a small patch, but that's, that's reasonable. But not patch over patch over patch. To me, that's just crazy. It's something we did in the 60s and 70s. There isn't any reason to do it anymore. Anyway, so the idea is that I'll get the shell completely done, so it's as good as new, so it's almost as new. Paint it in white primer and sell it as a rolling shell. So it's got an engine, it's got the original engine and gearbox, it's got all the bits and pieces, and I sell it as a rolling shell, either left or right-handed. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. It'll fit both. Because as I said, obviously repairing the metalwork is the most difficult bit. And then maybe some young enthusiast or somebody, whoever, might want it, and it's pretty much a Meccano set, a Mini. You can pretty much put it together as long as you have a few basic tools. Use the internet, use a Haynes manual, you can pretty much put it together. It's very, very easy car to work on the Mini. So, as you can see, the second inner wing is back on. And the roof piece, we've just got it put on at the moment. Obviously it's not welded in place. There are some repairs we need to do. There's a little bit of thinning there of the metal, so we'll check that out. See what the story is. I think what we'll do is possibly cut this. Once we've got this perfectly in the right place, what we can do is actually cut through both pieces. So we cut through this one and through the other one. And what that'll do is it'll leave exactly 1 mil, because that's the thickness of the blade. And that way we know we don't have to cut back anything, just clean up the edge. You can see it's a bit cut there and a bit there as well, so we'll just clean it up and then do the other side. That should work okay. So, start on the inside. There's a no door bottom. So again, like I said, these are both doors. I've got a selection of doors. So we'll check which is the best ones, which has got the best frames, and then we'll replace them. And obviously all the hinges are buggered that I've got, so they need new hinges. So yeah, we're getting on. I think once we've got these all welded in, get the roof part done, do the scuttle, and then we'll cut the rest of the floor out that's holding it, the heel board and so on, and place the new floor in it, and then we'll have something to weld up to when we put the inner sills in to the door bottoms, and that should work quite well. One of the little tips we can give on these inner wings is, obviously you've got that box section behind there, and try and get this as square as you can to it, which will give you the right positioning for it. I mean, obviously now there's the bracket to go on which holds the top of the shock absorber, but all of this should fit correctly. If the hinges don't line up or whatever, there's something wrong. Obviously what you want to try and do is keep as many of these flange hinges as you can, so you know where you're working to. But you can, if they are a little bit out, you can kind of dolly them a little bit. But yeah, that's really your center point there. If that's lined up and it's lined up to the in a hinge, you're pretty much right on the money. As I said, so what we're going to do with this now, again, this has got a new step on it, and you can see the step is pretty good there. We can manipulate that with a new door skin on it, but what you're looking for is a nice shut line, basically all the way around. Normally they're fairly bad here. All my minis, I've always lead loaded them, not on the door, but on this side, and so that they're really nice. Sometimes you get a massive gap in here, it looks awful. So that's really what it's all about, it's getting those shut lines right. And like with most cars produced, you know, they didn't come out the factory that good, I have to say. In fact, the cars that are now restored and rebuilt are much better than they came off the production line. That's an absolute sure, if they're done right, of course. There's just some of the scrap metal that's come out of it so far, so the main floor. That gusset for the handbrake's already on the new one. Got to keep that ashtray holder. You want to put it back in, and this is some of it. Most of it's rust and dust. But we'll show you as we go on. A lot to come out. I think, without a joke, I think it probably is 50% of the car will be restored, or 50% new material. So here you can see the new floor. It was done by M Machine. Obviously there's some differences in this a little bit. You can see it's got a double holes there, or elongated holes there for the handbrake, because the Mark III had a double handbrake, unlike the later models where it's single going down into a two on the one that goes across the back. And the floor pans themselves, you can see that they're Mark I, Mark II floor panels. You can see by the size of the ovals at the top here. They're much bigger in the MPIs and SPIs, and they also have a bigger ridge coming down. That's where the fuel return line comes from, the SP and the MPIs. So, and they've even got the original slinger brackets, which you don't need on the vehicle. These originally, this one and this one, and this one here, was put onto a jig when they would bring the floor in place and then put the car together on top of it. And yeah, there's a couple of small anomalies that I'd like to fix up, that I'd like to sort out. A little bit of tin canning there, oil canning as they call it. You can see it's quite, but I can probably get that out, or use a shrink and shrink it back. It's been overstretched, but all the welding's done on it. And yeah, obviously it comes in black transit paint, and this is done in the silver just to protect it, the bits that we've tidied up and cleaned up. And there's your channel there for your battery lead, your live battery lead to the back of the car. And then you've got brake and fuel lines. And yeah, as I said, the original outer seals were attached to it, but we had them just tacked so that we could take them off separately and fit them, just in case there's any anomalies. They're not always the same, these cars. So there we are. So that's the next big bit to go in once we've got these two other pieces sorted. I think we'll probably end up, I don't know, maybe a part 4, 5 or 6, possibly, not more than that, because they're big items. And I'll try and show you as much as I can how we do it and why we do it a certain way, so that it helps you if you're doing something like this. But as usual, as I say, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and yeah, follow along. And anybody knows who's got minis or interested in some of the metal work and some of the techniques, maybe we can help out. Take care, be good to each other, and bye for now.